Peace be with you, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor. Really grateful to have you here today. And so in today's video, I'm going to be going over 10 fragrances that I'm going to recommend for formal occasions, black tie events, wedding, that sort of thing. I think rose, wood, vetiver, and violet are going to be some of the main notes that are showing up in this list to kind of express that kind of classy scent profile. And this is going to be a cheapies list, so ideally this is going to be formal under 50. So I'm going to start off with a few honorable mentions, so we're actually looking at about 15 fragrances here. The first one is a clone of or inspired by fragrance of this fragrance right here, Dior Homme Original. Obviously this isn't going to be available for under $50. However, for right under $25, you can pick this bad boy up, Dream Big by United Colors of Benetton. So this fragrance, it gets really close to this fragrance right here. It's really difficult to tell the two apart in the air. I've gotten compliments on this one, and then when I did a blind test with a woman to ask which of these two she preferred, she thought that this one was a little bit more masculine, but that this one projected and was a little bit stronger. But overall, it was pretty close. This one, obviously, if you've got a trained nose, is going to come off a lot more cheap, but like I said, in the air, this gets compliments and comes really close to Dior Homme Original. So second honorable mention, this one was honorable mention just because it's a little bit more casual, but I think it's got a certain barbershop-esque classiness to it that you could rock it in a formal event. But I think it's more business casual, this is why it's in the honorable mentions, but that's Lamborghini's Millennials. Beautiful, like fruity rhubarb with a little bit of some spiciness, some clove in here as well. All thrown over the top of like a soapy kind of vetiver barbershop style fragrance. But it's honorable mention number 2, Lamborghini Millennials. Honorable mention number 3, this is only an honorable mention because it's a little bit difficult to come by. I think stock is starting to dwindle up. I think it was recently discontinued, but it is going to be Stash from Sarah Jessica Parker. And this one kind of hits on that wood, and it's got some nice kind of sweetness, a little bit of pistachio is a unique note in here. You can still find this one at Fragrance X right now for under $40, as well as very dwindling stock on fragrancebuy.ca. Definitely worth checking out and scooping up before it runs out. Next up on the honorable mentions list, this is also an honorable mention only because it's really difficult to come by. They don't sell it on the normal discounters, but I've not smelled Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, but the comment section on Fragrantica says this one kind of smells like a brighter, more fresh version of Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver, and this is Vetiver and Rum from the House of Helen. This is a Italian brand. Really beautiful kind of soapy fragrance. You can see I've gotten quite a little bit of wear out of this one. Real hidden gem. I managed to pick my bottle up for right around like $20. I think there's a website, smallflower.com, that has going for around $45. Is the only place I could see that you can still pick this up. But yeah, I highly recommend this fragrance. It's just like a beautiful soapy vetiver with some really nice dry lemon throughout the course of the fragrance and a little hint of that rum. Beautiful, elegant, classy, upscale, great cheapy, difficult to find, hidden gem, Helen Vetiver and Rum. And then my last honorable mention on the list here would actually be my number 1 pick for this entire list, but it's currently unavailable. It does restock infrequently on Fragrance Net, and when it is in stock there, you can get it for around $38. But that is Angel Schlescher Oriental Soul. So this is a really beautiful sort of rose oud fragrance, but instead of adding any sweetness like you get with the typical rose ouds like Shagaf Oud and Oud for Greatness, this one kind of takes out the sweetness other than a slight sweetness you get from the rose, and then it supports it with this beautiful musk. So this is just like an incredibly clean rose oud. Super classy, like I said, would be my number 1 for this entire list. Perfect black tie style event if it was not out of stock currently, but that's Angel Schlescher Oriental Soul. Alright, so that is all the honorable mentions. I'm going to get right into the main list here. Number 10 spot, 1920 The Origin Eau de Parfum from the House of Taus. This is a take on the Cartier Declaration DNA. It smells very similar to Cartier Declaration Parfum. However, this came out before the Parfum version, so it kind of it sits right in the middle of the original Cartier and the Parfum version. This is like a nice eau de parfum middle ground between those two. Beautiful cardamom, beautiful kind of overall fragrance. You get a slight booziness from some like cumin that's in here. Just like incredibly classy, elegant. Daphne Bugay is the perfumer on this one. Obviously I enjoy it quite a bit. You can tell from the juice level in here. So that's number 10 spot, 1920 Origin Eau de Parfum. Number 9 spot, basically a clone of the original Gucci Pour Homme, done by the same perfumer that did Gucci Pour Homme. That is Bentley for Men Absolute. Really nice, kind of dark, very formal pencil shavings is the best way to describe this one. I've not spelled the original Gucci Pour Homme, but like I said, this is the exact same perfumer that did the original Gucci Pour Homme, so you're essentially getting the identical DNA with a slightly cheaper budget for the ingredients. But yeah, just like I said, nice, sweet pencil shavings is what you get out of this, and then it's got a very austere kind of air to it with the woodiness and kind of dark tones to this. It's got a slight sweetness, but it's a lot more inclined to be like a dry wood in some sense. So that's number 9 spot, Bentley for Men Absolute. Number 8 spot, John Varvatos Vintage. Nice sort of barbershop style classiness, but it's darkened up a little bit with some sweetness. Rhubarb is like the main player here in terms of the uniqueness factor for this one. Slight boozy quality to this one as well. I don't think there's any boozy notes listed in here. It does have tobacco that sweetens it up a bit, but generally this list is kind of, I would define black tie event as office meets date night. So it's right in between the cleanliness of an office fragrance, and then it's got a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a darkness, a little bit of sweetness to kind of characterize a date night. So you mix the office and date night, and that's kind of what you get here with John Varvatos Vintage. Number 8 spot. Number 7 spot. So I went with this fragrance because the violet in here gives it a type of velvety texture, and it just feels very upclass, very elegant of a fragrance, and that is going to be Roberto Cavalli Uomo, the original. Honestly, even though the flankers to this line get a little bit more love, I think this is the number 1 out of all 5 of them that I would pick for a black tie event. But I think the velvety quality in this one really gives off the most refined air about it. And it's also sweetened up with a little bit of honey, which is also something that gives a certain textural feel that just feels very clean and smooth and elegant. Oh yeah, great stuff. Number 7 spot, Roberto Cavalli Uomo. Alright, number 6 spot. Favorite on my channel. This is a clone in some sense of Terre d'Hermes, but it freshens it up, makes it a little bit more mass appealing. Incredible woody citrus. I tried including it in this list because for the most part this list had a lot of fall and winter style fragrances, which I think are going to suit you well in climate controlled environments. But in case you have a black tie event out where it is a little bit warmer, this is going to be your pick from this list. This is Robert Talbot for Men. Like I said, it's just like a better, or I don't want to say better, but a fresher, more wearable, more mass appealing Terre d'Hermes. So you just get that beautiful citrus wood and a little bit of vetiver holding up in here as well. So that's Robert Talbot, number 6 spot. Number 5 spot. This is another clone. It is supposed to be cloning a fragrance called Tuxedo. So case in point, that's kind of why this one's on the list. It does have a very classy, very refined, very aristocratic style vibe. I think the bottle represents that as well. I've not smelled YSL's Tuxedo, but I hear that this one gets really close to that. This is Moustache Eau de Parfum from the House of Rojas. You can find the 75 ml bottle for right around like $35 on discounters right now. Beautiful fragrance, I think a must own in anyone's collection, especially at the price point. Number 5 spot, Rojas Moustache Eau de Parfum. Alright, number 4 spot. Again, kind of harkening back to the barbershop style, dressed up, formal attire with this one, but then it sweetens it up with some nice cinnamon spice and a lot of other notes that kind of, I think like a heavy vanilla in this one that kind of makes it perfect for that office meets date night sort of vibe. And incredible quality on this one, niche quality in my opinion. Joy Pour Homme Eau de Parfum. There is an Eau de Toilette. I think this Eau de Parfum is a little bit more smooth, a little bit more refined, a little bit better suited for a black tie event. This one might be a little bit sweet for something that's not climate controlled, so just be aware of that. But Anique Minardo is the perfumer behind this one, and the quality is outstanding. Definitely one of the better, put together fragrances in this list, both in terms of quality and scent profile. So that's number 3, Jaipur Homme Eau de Parfum. Sorry, number 4. Number 3 spot is actually going to be this one, which you can definitely find the 50 mLs for under $50. And then the 100 mLs you can usually find around that price as well, but it's probably going to be the most expensive on the list, and that is Moschino's Toy Boy. So this is a kind of dark, spicy rose fragrance, but the rose in here is just done so elegantly and refined, and like, I don't know, this fragrance in particular just screams black tie event. Like I said, the rose just brings the classiness factor up in this one for me that makes it appropriate for a black tie event. Definitely check this one out. It's a very unique fragrance, but definitely one of my favorite formal attire fragrances, Moschino's Toy Boy. Okay, that was number 3. Number 2 spot. The number 1 and 2 spot are both Lalique fragrances. So Lalique is definitely your best bang for buck, high quality sort of formal attire house. So definitely you could fill up your entire collection from offerings from Lalique, and you would be in a really good position, both based on the fact that they're budget fragrances for the most part, under $50, and they're just incredible quality. So this one is, no surprise, I'm assuming, Nathalie Lorson Encre Noir à l'Extrême. It's the no boozy notes listed, but it definitely gives off like a little bit of a boozy kind of feeling to it. It's not quite a sweetness, but it's a little bit of a warmth that kind of helps to make this more of a give that inky sort of office printer ink, pen ink style austerity and sterility, a little bit more playfulness, and something for a formal dressed up date night combination. So like I said, office meets date night, that is black tie event, and this is what you get here with that one, Encre Noir à l'Extrême. And then my number 1 pick for a black tie event, the violet in here, similar to the Cavalli Uomo, gives it a nice velvety texture and just incredibly classy, definitely a little bit more mature. But oud, saffron, black pepper, and violet are going to be the main players in this one, and it is one of my signature fragrances. This is Hommage à l'Homme from Lalique. I think this is discontinued, but you can still find gift sets of this one for under $40 floating around on discounters. I'd highly recommend picking it up before it's gone. One of my favorite fragrances of all time. Just incredible classiness in a bottle. You can kind of see how much I've gotten some wear out of this one. So I do really love this one, and I think it's perfect for a more dressed up style black tie event. I kind of tend to wear this one on date nights with my wife if we go out, or to like a fancy restaurant or something like that. Just incredible refinement. Like I said, I think there's some musk in here too, so it's got that oud musk kind of cleanness that is going on in the Angel Schlescher, which would have actually beaten this one out if this one was available, but nonetheless, number 1 spot, Lalique, Hommage à l'Homme. Check it out. That is my top 10 plus 5 honorable mentions for formal under 50. I appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.